Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to 2 Samuel, chapter number 23. We've got just one more chapter left in this awesome book, and then when we're done with that, we're going to go on to the first book of Kings. Let's plan on starting that Monday. But today we're going to get this chapter 23 rolling. We see David's last words in the beginning of it, and then it ends with a description of all 37 of his mighty men, which is really cool. It names them by tribe, it just goes ahead and says who they are and stuff like that, and even some of the bigger ones, some of the mightier. It even says some of the great things that they've done, which is really cool. But I'm looking at this here, the last words of David, the first 7 verses here, and we see, and I'm looking at verses 2 to 4. I see that this is how God told David how things should be. You know, God has been speaking to David, and the words he says are on my tongue in verse 2. God tells David how things should be done, how he should rule his kingdom, how he should be doing all of this stuff is what David is telling us. He says, and yeah, understand this is wisdom coming from David here. And this is David saying, listen, God told me how things ought to be. We see in verse number 5, he says, but things didn't always go that way. He says, but God has still made me with an everlasting covenant. God is still my salvation, he says that. And he goes on in verses 6 and 7 to say, of course, the rebellious will get burned. But this is speaking as a leader, as the head, the spiritual leader of a home, here I am speaking to spiritual leaders of homes. God has a plan, and he has things set forth of how he wants your household to go and how he wants your household to honor him, how he wants your household to be active in the community or whatever it is. He has plans for that. And sometimes things don't go that way. We're human, and we make mistakes, and so are the people in our household. They're human. They make mistakes. But we still even though we make mistakes, that doesn't mean all hope is lost. When we make mistakes, that just means that God is stronger in our shortcomings. That even though we make these mistakes, God still says, yes, but I still love you. Yes, I still died for you. Yes, I still have a plan. Just because you make a mistake, it doesn't mean my plan for your life and my plan for your family is void. I am the everlasting life, he says. And this is what David is trying to teach. He's trying to teach that, and he says, those that rebel against God, you're only going to get burned. But this is what David is trying to teach. He's trying to teach us that God has a plan for our lives, for our families, and for you in particular as the spiritual head of your home. And even though sometimes things may not go to plan, God still loves you. And he's not going back on his covenant if you don't. So, guys, as the leaders of your home, if you were writing today your last words, what would they sound like? David's here sounds like a leader, like somebody who is still trying to lead his family and ultimately his kingdom. David's still trying to lead. On your last day, will you still be the leader of your home, or will your last words, your last poem, be nothing but sorry, 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 sorry? I messed up, I messed up, I messed up. What will it be? What will it be? David's just points to God, none of it to himself. Have a super day. I love you all.